Does your camera have personality? Is it important if it does? Only you can answer that question. Some people feel a connection with their gear and equipment, while others, a tool is a tool and can be exchanged for any other. With the DF, Nikon seeks to bring some extra personality to the table in the form of this retro and digital combination. Normally when I review a camera, I take you through many of the technical bits. For the DF, I've created a thorough walkthrough of the body and menus, which is available here. That video shows you all of the buttons and dials in detail, and all the menu options too. This review will be a little bit of a different journey, so we'll talk about the technical stuff first, and then move on to what the DF is really all about. For starters, you have the venerable Nikon D4 sensor. It's great in low light and produces fantastic, bright images in almost any ISO setting. What does that mean for you and I? It means we can mount a fast prime lens to it and shoot and shoot and shoot in almost any circumstances. The images are sharp, so be prepared to have some lenses to match. The electronic bits seem to be a mashup of the D4 and the D810 and the D610. It's an interesting combination. The menus and options are very much like the D4 and D810, while the button scheme on the back of the camera is more like the D610 or the D7100. What does all this mean? It means if you've used other Nikon DSLR cameras, you'll pretty much be at home if you were to start shooting with a DF. In short, the stuff you're used to from other Nikon DSLRs is all here. Except video. No video. This is for still photographers only. It does have live view, but I'd be just as happy without it. Let's cut to the chase. If you want the best image quality for the lowest price, the DF isn't for you. Check out the D600 or the Canon 6D. The DF is really about something different. It's about a feeling. Let's focus on the most unique aspect of the DF compared to other DSLRs, the top of the camera. It's almost purely old school up here. In fact, when I took the DF out in public for the first time to the Arizona Highland Celtic Festival, someone immediately walked up to me and asked me if it was a film camera. When I showed them the LCD screen and that it was digital, they were puzzled, but accepting, and maybe even a little entertained by the combination. The DF attracts attention, but the film look can help you be a little bit sneaky when needed too. A turn of the dial and twist of the knob, and you're changing your settings like it's 1973. But you have autofocus if you want it, and all of the creature comforts of modern DSLRs when you want them. For me, the DF is all about the feel of an old school analog piece of equipment. I enjoy the feeling of the dials clicking into place. One cool aspect of this is that you can largely see how your camera is set without even turning it on. I really didn't think about that at first, but when I would pick up the camera, I found myself glancing down to the top to see what adjustments that I'd want to make for my next shot. You see, the DF begs you to shoot in manual and take control. It's a tactile experience. It's not the fastest camera to operate manually, and some of these dials lock into position and require some pushes and clicks to unlock. Here's a quick analogy though. I can open up music on my phone in a heartbeat and get the jams going right away when I want them. Or I can dust off an old record, put it on the platter, turn the record player on, gently lower the needle, and listen to an entire record album. My D800 is that modern MP3 player, while a DF is more like the record player. With either one, I'm listening to music, but the record player brings a more in-depth experience to the table. Hey, we're all in a hurry, and slowing down isn't for everyone. There are certainly plenty of cameras out there with all sorts of different abilities for various prices. There's a lot of reviews of the DF out there, and some of the most popular ones have sort of made a joke about this camera, or played up how difficult they say it is to use. Guys, it's pretty easy to pick up and shoot with. The more manual you go with it, the easier it is. If you've shot with an F3, FG, FE, FM, or any of the number of manual Nikons there are, you'll be right at home with the DF. Shut off the electronic assistance options like auto ISO and get it out of P mode and click here, here, and here, and become a part of the experience. My first day with the DF was all about getting the image quality that I expected and setting it up like my other Nikons. By the second day, I was truly back in old school mode. Adjusting dials without looking, making mistakes, and then correcting them. I was taking fewer pictures, but thinking more. I felt less like an observer and more of a participant. Was the DF casting its spell on me? Yes it was. Would this DF cast the same spell on you? I don't know. That's a different answer for everyone. But I will say, if you're the type to shop for a vehicle with a manual transmission, put on a record and listen to the whole side and sip wine by the fireplace, the DF may speak to you in the same way that it spoke to me. What does the DF say to me? It says, let's be a team. And it asks for a cold fall day, a forest full of trees, and slowing down and taking the world in around you while making the camera itself a part of that experience. There's a romance to working with it. If romancing a camera is wrong, I don't want to be right. During my time with my borrowed DF, I took it everywhere, and it was a great performer. Colors pop, the sharpness is all there, low light capability is superb, and raw images provided a tremendous range for any amount of post-processing I wanted. The bar is so high from the technical perspective, and modern DSLRs are so capable that these technical aspects, they're all expected, and they're all there. You may already know what the DF is all about and where it's positioned in the lineup. It's sort of over by itself to the left, while all the other DSLRs in Nikon's lineup are over to the right. From a capabilities perspective, it's somewhere between the D610, 810, and D4, while from a control and personality perspective, it's off on its own, and it's ready to make your acquaintance if you do think that you want a decidedly different and classic approach to your photography. Still not sure, but you want to get your feet wet with the DF without committing to a long-term relationship? Lumoid.com has one ready for you to borrow and find out if the DF speaks to you. The DF isn't for everyone, and you might not know if it's for you or not until you take it for a test drive.